Coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 11 at 9 on Fox 34.
On a day which is usually for celebration, it's a very tough day in Texas.
Search and rescue crews are spread out across the Texas Hill Country as more than 20 kids are unaccounted for with floodwaters raging.
Right now, the only concern we have is rescuing everybody and all these kids out here.
Good evening and thank you for joining us this Independence Day. I'm Aubrey Harris. At least 13 people have been killed in those floodwaters. Governor Abbott has deployed state emergency resources to the Hill Country. Those crews are on top of his initial deployment of resources ahead of the heavy rain and flooding.
Coming up on 25 News now at 10. A wall of water sweeps through the Texas Hill Country. How 9 inches of rain in just hours turned deadly.
And emergency managers monitor rising Guadalupe River levels after Kerr County flooding. How can Canyon Lake protect the crossroads?
Plus, a look at how the DAV Auxiliary honored local veterans with their 7th annual picnic today.
And we're still watching the dissipation of all the moisture going on, but there is some moisture still lingering around that's going to be bringing us the rain chances for us here in the crossroads as well as up in Kerrville. We'll be talking about that coming up in weather.
And Dave Campbell's Texas football revealed the 2A and 5A rankings for this preseason. I'll tell you who made the list later on.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Trenton Whiting, in for Don Brubaker.
At least 24 people are now dead and many more missing after a flash flood tore through Kerr County overnight. More than 10 inches of rain fell in just hours, turning the Guadalupe River into a deadly force.
Catastrophic flooding here in the Lone Star State is leaving many people without a home right now, and at least 13 people are dead in Kerr County. And you can expect property taxes to rise over in Killeen, and our neighborhood reporter Chantel Belafonte has that story. How one of our neighboring communities is improving access and mobility at a local historic site. Our Kenny Graves has that story as well.
People that I know of who were not in harm's way, but went into harm's way to try to save the lives of others. So many people have been swept up into an extraordinary catastrophe.
And just into our newsroom tonight, Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick signing a declaration of emergency for our neighbors over in Kerr County and San Sabbath. This following the devastating and catastrophic flooding that we saw earlier today and that we've been reporting on all afternoon. Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in for the news at 10.
Live, local, trusted. KBTX News starts right now.
Catastrophic flooding in Texas. Some areas received more than a foot of rain in a matter of hours. Near San Antonio, the Guadalupe River overflowed, flooding homes and roads. Tonight, officials have confirmed at least 24 people are dead and several people are still unaccounted for. Governor Greg Abbott just wrapped up a press conference moments ago saying crews will be working nonstop until every person is found. Jason Allen reports from Kerrville.
Catastrophic flooding in the Texas Hill Country. The raging Guadalupe River rising 26 feet in less than 1 hour, washing away property and lives. The death toll, we just learned, at least 24 at this hour. It is expected to skyrocket. First responders calling this a mass casualty event. First responders swooping down in helicopters, plucking victims stranded in trees. At least one firefighter from Beaumont tonight on scene with a task force working to save lives. The desperate effort to rescue victims will continue overnight. Among the many missing, 4 with ties to Southeast Texas: Aiden Hartfield, Ella Cahill, and Joyce Baden. Kelly High School graduates, Reese Manchaca, their friend, all staying at the home of Aiden's late grandfather, federal judge Thad Hartfield, in the town of Hunt. On the phone with his father when floodwaters came pouring in. No word from them since early this morning. Good evening, everyone. It is 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching 6 News at 10. I'm Aaron Drawhorn. The Diocese of Beaumont tonight urging the community to pray for a young St. Anne student among 23 missing from a girls' camp along the Guadalupe River.
Now at 10, catastrophic floods devastate Kerr County. And tonight, 4 young people from Beaumont are missing. What we're learning from their families and how the city is coming together. Plus, our weather impact team breaks down the extreme conditions in the Texas Hill Country, how a surge of water triggered the devastating floods. And first responders are hard at work trying to save people from floodwaters. The message from the Cajun Navy as crews continue to look for survivors. 12 News starts now. Call it a mass casualty event. In fact, that's what DPS is saying about the catastrophic flooding in Kerr County. Slow-moving storms dumped 15 inches of rain onto the area, leading to flash flooding. It caught people staying along the Guadalupe River, either for holiday vacations or summer camps. Here's the 3 things you need to know. Texas leaders and Kerr County officials just wrapped up a press conference. They confirmed that 24 people have died. The victims' names and ages aren't being released at this time.
This is CBS News, Texas.
We remain in a search and rescue posture right now. They will continue in the darkness of night. They will be taking place when the sun rises in the morning. They will be nonstop.
That is Governor Greg Abbott less than an hour ago committing state resources to finding about 24 missing people tonight. It is all because of the flash flooding in central Texas that sheriffs now say has killed 24 people, including adults and children. With that, we welcome you in at 10 on this July 4th. I'm Nicole Baker. Doug is off. This is a national story at this point. It is spreading online. Officials giving us some new information just in the last hour in the aftermath of those flash floods. So I want to tell you what we do know.
We will do everything humanly possible 24/7, looking at every tree, turning over every rock.
It's an all-hands-on-deck search in central Texas going into the night, on the ground and in the sky.
Whatever it takes to find your daughter.
We're revealing the mothers and fathers still desperately looking for their missing children and where the agencies helping are in their search. A foot chase following a shots-fired call. New tonight, the brand new details surrounding this arrest in Tyler and how the victim is doing after being sent to a hospital.
Our camp got hit. That was a night that I won't ever forget.
It's not your typical type of 4th of July event. We're there with those paying their respects to the men and women whose names are forever etched into this wall who died fighting for our freedom.
Chances of rain drop this weekend and we'll see some hot, humid conditions, but those same chances of rain may return as we head into early next week. We'll talk about the forecast coming up on KLTV 7 News at 10.
Caring, committed, proud of East Texas. You're watching KLTV 7 News.
Governor Abbott moments ago signed this disaster declaration for 4 counties in central Texas at a press conference that is still happening as we speak and come on the air tonight. The sheriff of Kerr County announced that the death toll has unfortunately risen to 24 people and the search continues. They don't even know how many they're looking for near the Guadalupe River tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We've got brand new video we're getting tonight showing rescue crews. Take a look at this crew.
You're watching the South Texas News Leader. This is 3 News at 10.
And before I knew it, the water took over.
It floated down the river maybe 80 yards. My place is gone though. It's gone.
It is something like we've never seen. It's devastating down there.
Swept away in seconds. Raging floodwaters tear through the Texas Hill Country overnight, washing out bridges, stranding families, and swallowing homes whole.
First responders racing against floodwaters to pull people to safety. The ongoing search efforts tonight as dozens remain missing, including children, and the tragic reminder it brings of local families affected by a devastating flood from an earlier time. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leslie Adamy.
I'm Mike Gillespie. Before we turn to the tragedy happening in Central Texas, we do want to begin with news closer to home, where we have learned that a man drowned while spending the day at one of our area beaches.
KVUE News at 10 starts with breaking news.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Quita Culpepper, and we have learned new information about the tragic flooding in Kerr County, about 2 hours southwest of Austin. Now, just a short time ago, authorities confirmed 24 people have died, but they are still not able to say how many people they're still looking for. Right now, hundreds of personnel are involved in search and rescue missions that are going to continue overnight and into tomorrow.
Deadly flash flooding on the 4th of July.
That river rose 26 feet in 45 minutes.
Texans struggle with a heartbreaking holiday as more floods are set to sweep through. We'll share new information about the floods in Kerrville and the current flooding that's happening in San Saba. And the powerful story about a man who dresses up as a wolf for a living. Find out why his retirement is a big deal for everybody who has ever made it in the mascot business. It's all right here, right now on 6 News at 10.
Happy 4th of July, Central Texas. Thanks for joining us live on KCEN and the 6 Plus streaming app. I'm Bailey Bates. Lindsay Lippman has the night off, and we have lots to get to tonight. It was a difficult holiday for Texans as early morning flash flooding turned deadly for residents and campers.
You're watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
Thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. I'm Vanessa Croy.
And I'm Barry Davis. We're continuing our coverage on that catastrophic and deadly flooding in the Hill Country. More than 30 hours later, rescue crews are still working nonstop, trying to find, we honestly don't know how many missing people.
But we do know this morning the death toll stands at 24, but officials say that number could rise. The Texas National Guard says they have rescued or evacuated more than 230 people in that area since the flooding started. And in Hunt, parents still frantically searching for answers at Camp Mystic. At last check, state officials say at least 23 girls are still unaccounted for.
Last night, Governor Abbott, alongside other state and local officials, gave us an update on the search effort.
Live from KHOU 11, your news starts now.
That's right, we're starting right now, and good morning, and thanks so much for starting your Saturday here with us. I'm Trace Bragg, joined by meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and we have a lot to get to this morning with the developing situation out in Texas Hill Country. But first, Chris, Central Texas isn't in the clear yet.
Correct. We are still looking at some heavy rainfall currently out west. So right now here in Houston, we are seeing some light showers, but heavy rain still continuing for portions of just along the I-10 corridor. There's now still flash flood warnings that are currently in effect, this time for portions along the Guadalupe River downstream from Canyon Lake.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we have bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
Campers from Camp La Junta lucky to be alive this morning after they say they had to swim out of their cabins during flash floods in Kerr County. That camp just a few miles up the Guadalupe River from Camp Mystic. That's where more than 20 campers are still missing this morning. Thanks for waking up with us on this Saturday, July 5th. I'm Adriana de Alba. We're going to have a look at your holiday weekend forecast in just a moment. But first, we're following the latest updates out of the Texas Hill Country as search efforts continue this morning in those deadly flash floods. This isn't just impacting Kerr County, but other counties near the San Antonio area. This is new video here you're looking at out of Spring Branch, Texas.
This is KWTX News 10.
What you're seeing now is the aftermath of catastrophic flooding in Kerr County yesterday, leaving at least 32 people dead and even more missing. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, Central Texas. I'm Isabella Quintanilla, filling in for Jasmine Lotz. The urgent search continues for the missing, some children from a girls' camp. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a federal disaster declaration adding 6 more counties. CBS News correspondent Karen Hua has more from Kerrville, Texas.
For a second day, rescue teams combed Central Texas, searching for survivors after a deadly storm unleashed powerful floodwaters from the Guadalupe River.
Every minute counts, which is why there's people in the air, people in the water, people on the ground right now, because they're looking to save every last life, and we will not give up that effort.
She was panicking, something severe.
Story of survival in the middle of all of this devastation. A man who alerted rescue crews to a girl clinging to a tree shares what happened after she was saved.
News 4 San Antonio at 10. We're here for you.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jonathan Martinez.
I'm Mandy Noel, and we continue breaking team coverage on the deadly floods in the Hill Country. We've kept you updated all day, and we will continue to bring you breaking developments as we learn them.
Tonight, we do have a team of reporters live for you on the ground and out in the elements to bring you the very latest details of this flooding tragedy.
So we're going to get to what we know right now. So far, 43 people are dead, 15 of them children in Kerr County. 27 people are still unaccounted for, missing from Camp Mystic. 4 people are confirmed dead in Travis County, 3 others in Burnett County from the same storm. An unknown number of people are missing from other locations. The governor says this is still very much a search and rescue, not a recovery effort. There are no more updates planned again until tomorrow morning.
Also tonight, your South Texas Ford dealer Sky Ford giving us our first look at Camp Mystic after Friday's deadly flood from up above. You can see the front of one of the buildings there has been torn off, debris scattered all across that camp, truly giving you a scope of the damage and destruction there in that area.
When the flash flood hit in the middle of the night as the campers slept in their bunks, the camp was overwhelmed. And tonight we learned from the Kerrville Daily Times the camp's longtime owner and director, Dick Eastland, is among those confirmed dead. An editorial posted by a former camper says Eastland put camper safety above all else. She says his last sacrifice was working to save the lives of campers.
Right now on First Alert 6, the latest from Central Texas as the death toll following massive flash flooding continues to rise tonight.
And we're pretty much done with the thunderstorms for this evening, but we got more rain chances coming in next week. I'll have the latest details coming up.
And after the party comes the cleanup, how some of our neighbors are helping out after a patriotic celebration.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
Just into our newsroom in the last 20 minutes, Omaha police do confirm a man is seriously hurt after a stabbing. OPD say officers rushed to 52nd and Lake. This was just after 5 o'clock this evening. We're told a 22-year-old man was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We will first alert you to new information as soon as it becomes available.
You're watching WMBF News, live at 11.
Thanks for here for News at 11. I'm Ian Klein. We have Tropical Storm Chantal that has been moving along the South Carolina coastline, bringing plenty of strong winds and rains. Expected to make landfall tonight. Early this morning, we got a look over our sky cams. This is throughout the Grand Strand this evening through our weather cameras. As you see those rain bands as they made their way through this afternoon. And
working for you. This is ABC 15 News at 11.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Gianna Forbes. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for the Grand Strand and areas of Georgetown and Horry counties. Let's send it over to meteorologist Jenna Warner to find out what's new with the storm going into the overnight. Jenna.
Gianna, as of the 11 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center, Chantal has upgraded. It has strengthened offshore and it now has max sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. And you can see
live where news comes first. This is WECT News.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Delaney Tarpley. Tropical Storm Chantal is making its way to the Carolinas, and we are tracking it each step of the way. Now, this is video from our sister station WMBF in Myrtle Beach, where that storm is expected to make landfall later. Now, we have a First Alert weather day here because of this system.